How to fill out a check. The parts of a check. Personal information. When you first open an account, the bank may give you checks that have this area blank. These checks are to hold you over until you order your own. When you order your own, your personal checks will have your name, address, city, state, and zip code. Some may also have your phone number. If you share the account with another person, their name will also appear on the check. The name will reflect the names on the checking account. Check number. When you get a checkbook, the checks will be in sequential order. Most checks have 3-digit numbers. For example, 101. But some can be 4 digits. The check number makes it easy for the customer to keep track of the checks they write. If you keep a record, you will know, for example, that check 102 was for $45 and it was used to buy medicine from the pharmacy. Date line. This is where you write the date of the day the check was written. You can do this several ways. April 16th, 2014, 4/16/2014, abbreviated version of April, APR 16/2014. Pay to the order line. This line tells who is receiving the payment. For example, you may make a check out to Simon's grocery store for the groceries you've just bought. You may write a check to Joe Cartwright to pay back some money you borrowed from him. It is always important when writing checks to ask the recipient what you should write in this area. For example, you may have a dentist appointment at Kanowitz and Mulder. The receptionist will either tell you to fill it out to Kanowitz and Mulder, or they may tell you to fill it out to Dr. Kanowitz, who is the doctor who filled your cavity. What name goes here depends on the name on the checking account this check will be deposited into. Dollar amount box. This is where you write the numeric amount of what is owed to the recipient. It is best to write the cents in fractional form. For instance, if you are writing a check for $59.61, you should write it in one of two ways. 59 with 61 over 100, or 59 with 61 over XX. Excuse me, folks. Yeah, okay. Dollars line. The line directly under the pay to the order of line is where you will write the amount, and the dollar amount is where you'll write the amount in the dollar amount box in words. If you write a check for $55, you will write in text $55 and no cents. If you write a check for $102.57, you will write $102.57. Bank address. Your bank's address might appear on your check. If your bank has many branches, the address listed on your check may not be the particular bank you go to. The address reflects the bank that might handle those particular transactions. Memo line. This space is used for writing a note about what the check for it is for specifically. You don't have to fill out this area. This is more for your benefit. For instance, if you write a check to Gino's restaurant, you may write down catering services in this area to remind you why you wrote a check to them. Signature line. This is where you sign your check. You should use a pen with black or blue ink. If your signature changes dramatically due to injury or physical illness, you may have to provide the bank with a new signature. Routing number. The routing number is a 9-digit number in the lower left corner. The routing number is enclosed by this symbol at the beginning and end of it. It kind of looks like a, well, little face, straight mouth, and, you know, colons rather. The routing number reflects the bank where you first opened your account. Account number. Your account number follows the routing number. This number is the number of your personal bank account. If you do not have a check and need to know your account number, you can always find it on your bank statement. The account number is followed by this symbol, which is like quotation marks with a dot in the right-hand corner. Second check number. Aside from being in the top right corner of a check, the check number can also be found after the account number. This is usually a 4-digit number. The check at the right has a number that is already 4 digits, so the check number on the top and the one on the bottom look identical. What happens if this is check number 201? In the upper corner it will just say 201. However, in the bottom check number it will probably read 0201. Example on how to fill out a check. Joan Hancock's daughter is getting married. They go to Barb's bridal shop and pick out a wedding dress. Mrs. Hancock asks Miss Weathers, the owner of the bridal shop, who she should write the check out to. Barbara Weathers has a business account and directs Mrs. Hancock's to make the check out to Barb's bridal shop. The total cost of the dress is $649.55. The day it was bought was February 21st, 2012. So, February 21st, 2012 goes on the date line. Because the business account that it's going to be deposited into is Barb's Bridal Shop, you write Barb's Bridal Shop on the paid to the order of line. It's usually better to kind of put a line on any area that's there to, you know. $649.55 over 100. And then you write in words $649.55. It was for a wedding dress, and then Joan Hancock signs the check. Endorsing a check. In order for the recipient of a check to receive the money when they deposit it, they must endorse it. On the back of a check, there's an area where the recipient will sign their name or stamp, usually in the case of businesses. Like for instance, we just had the example of Barb's Bridal Shop. So Barb's Bridal Shop probably has a stamp where they just stamp Barb's Bridal Shop on the endorsing area. The area circled in red represents this area. Do not sign or stamp below the line indicated, as this is used by the banks. You may not be able to see this too well, but there's a line where they say do not write or stamp below this line, as it's reserved for financial institution use. Example. Joan Hancock also made a check out to Jack's Catering. The owner, Jack Martin, asked her to make the check out to him. Not to Jack's Catering, but to him, Jack Martin. When he gets ready to deposit the check, he signs the back of it. Remember to use black or blue ink. Other things you need to endorse a check. When you endorse a check, most banks require you to present 1 to 2 proofs of your identity. A state ID or driver's license is a good thing to bring since it shows a photo of you. A tip about checks. Some companies deposit checks only once a week. If you write a check, make sure to make a note of how much money you actually have in your account. Your bank account may not accurately show how much you actually have if not all the checks you have written have been cashed yet. As banks often fine you for overdrafts, it is always good to keep track of how much money you actually have by deducting impending withdrawals. Writing a check out for cash. Sometimes you want to withdraw cash from your bank account. Most people go to an ATM, but if you choose to do it through a drive-thru, you will use a check. Write the word cash in the pay to the order of line. And then in this example, for instance, if she's making a check cash out to $55, so she writes cash, puts the date, January 5th, 2012, cash, 55 zeros over 100, $55 and no cents. Cash goes in the memo line, she signs it. Endorsing a check for cash. If you write a check out for cash, you will endorse the check. So Joan Hancock signs the back. Voiding a check. Sometimes you void a check in order to provide your bank account information. It is important to void a check properly to make sure that someone else cannot use it. You should write the word void in the pay to the order of line, the dollar amount box, and on the signature line. Make sure to make a note of a voided check in your record so you don't think you are missing a check.